Hey guys, so it's starting to get in full swing with politics. We see people every day announcing that they're running for re-election, or maybe they're going to primary someone, but there's a lot of political news. So I wanted to make sure that you heard about this. Last week, it was reported that the North Carolina Democrats refused to seat their Jewish caucus. So a caucus is a group of people, like an affinity group that gets together inside the party and has mutual interests or mutual backgrounds and wants to organize and kind of reach out to more like-minded people. The Freedom Caucus, we've heard of that inside of the U.S. House, right? It's something like similar to that. So anyway, the Jewish caucus of Democrats wanted recognition and to participate, kind of a seat at the table, if you will, inside of the Democrat Party. And the party said no in this way. The votes were 16 for, 16 against, 17 walked away from the vote, and that would include the chair of the Democrat Party. Wouldn't even give it a vote. But look, I've got a video that was from one of the meetings with inside the Interfaith Coalition, where they talked about the audacity of these uppity Jews actually being excited about this Jewish caucus, and horror of horrors, making a post on Twitter about the formation of this Jewish caucus. Take a listen.
Specifically tell you exactly what Matt said. Happy to be at the first event of the newly formed North Carolina Democratic Party Jewish caucus. That cannot be more clear. That was your intention. It was not a clerical error. You did it intentionally, and you put it in the public, and the harm that has been done is enormous. And I will add, for those who have played by the rules, Leslie and company, you owe them an apology. And you owe the North Carolina Democratic Party, if approved, a sincere apology.
Disgusting. Making Jews pretty much apologize for being Jewish within the Democrat Party. The Jews in question, the Jewish Democrats, were hardworking. They worked in their party for a couple of them, like up to a decade. So these weren't, just people that walked in. They were hardworking in their own right and denied a right to organize, basically, and to have a seat at the table. Haven't heard one elected Democrat say boo about this. The news has been widely reported. It's been out there for a week. Complete silence. Nothing from the Democrat Party. I can tell you that if it happened in the NC GOP, you would have politicians coming out and saying, I reject this. You would hear calls for resignation. We don't hear anything. It gets worse. There's a guy named Ryan Jenkins. Ryan is also on the executive committee, but he's the lead of the North Carolina Democrat Progressive Caucus. Listen to what he says about having Jewish people in leadership.
And it's not okay. And if the Democratic Party caves to it, that's the end of the Democratic Party. We're not Democrats. We're the Jewish caucus. We're a Zionist group. Because they control everything. We're telling them very clearly they're allowed to threaten and bully us, and they will get their way every time, and that our rules don't apply.
Don't let those Jews have anything to do with the party. Don't let them have a little bit of a voice inside the party, or it will ruin the party. Now, can you imagine if the North Carolina GOP even thought about this or said, oh, we can't have the Asian coalition, we can't have them being involved at any level with any votes or any decision making. We can't have them involved. It'll ruin the party. That is the most anti-Semitic thing that I've ever heard in politics. And I've heard a lot of stuff coming from the squad. Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, the worst. I can't believe that we actually have worse here in North Carolina. So I want to put this up also. What you're looking at is the platform that was voted on, passed, and enacted in 2022. So this is sanctioning Israel, and Israel alone, by the way, for human rights abuses. And it's actually suggesting that Jews should have a travel ban and should have their property and their assets frozen or seized. This is 1930s Germany type of program discussions. It is so scary and so horrific, and I have not heard one elected Democrat come out and say anything about this. Folks, this is who the North Carolina Democrats are. By the way, North Carolina Democrats stand alone. There is not another state party, Republican or Democrat, in the country who has singled out Jews and Israel specifically in this way. It just doesn't exist. So I don't know, by the way, if the North Carolina Democrats realize that their front runner for the gubernatorial candidate is Josh Stein. And he's Jewish. Don't know if you knew. I don't know if they know. It's almost as if they're saying, hey, GOP, we're going to come together and help you elect your nominee because you know what? They're not a Jew. Kind of that's what it feels like. This party is full of bigots, bigotry, and hate. Antisemitism is at an all-time high right now. And this affects not only Jews, but it's a national security issue. It's a safety issue. I mean, we are on the verge of barbarism here in this country, whether it's in public schools, on the university campuses, in the workplace, and on the streets. This type of incivility and absolute raw hatred, we cannot allow it to have any place in elected politics here in North Carolina. Tell your friends, tell your rabbi, tell your pastor, tell your neighbors and coworkers, this is the North Carolina Democrat Party. This is what they stand for. Share the video, share the news, let them know.